Do you have problems with feeling your muscles when you're training at the gym and therefore you have gained minimal results in your physique? If so, you just need to learn how to use the mind-muscle connection, which I'm going to walk you through in this video. Hi, my name is Oliver and I've been training at the gym for aesthetics for over 3.5 years now. I've spent thousands of hours at the gym where I've experimenting with varieties of, for example, workout splits and exercises for what will give you the most aesthetic V-taper physique. And after 3.5 years, I can confidently say that I have achieved an aesthetic physique, which has actually gotten me 2 girlfriends over the past 2 years. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can get the same results. So now you are probably wondering, so how do I do this mind-muscle connection so I can get those results? So before I teach you how to do the mind-muscle connection, I want you to understand what it actually is. So the fundamentals basically. So basically there's a difference between just lifting the weight and actually feeling your muscles being teared apart while you lift. Like, I know it sounds like I'm a fucking psychopath when I say like tearing your fucking muscles apart, but that is actually the process that is happening. So basically you probably know the feeling of going out on autopilot. That's what it's called. That's basically when you do something and you're not really aware of you doing it. Like, it's become such an automated habit that you just do it naturally, like breathing. And that's the exact same thing you're probably doing at the gym right now. You're just lifting the weights up. You're not really trying to engage all of your muscles while you're doing the exercise. And that's actually why that before we even begin our sets, we actually want to start doing this mind-muscle connection before our sets. So basically in our warm-up. So we can kind of get the feeling of how it actually feels to do this mind-muscle connection. This technique, like the mind-muscle connection, it will take a lot of time for you to learn, probably some months at least. But that's exactly why I've made this video, so you can get the feeling of it as quickly as possible. And that's why my best tip to you is to actually just overuse the mind-muscle technique on every single exercise that you do. And again, I will come to how you do this later on in this video. Another thing that I want to teach you is actually that there's different kinds of levels to this mind-muscle connection. So for example, what I mean by this is that the arms is way easier to feel when you do the mind-muscle connection than, for example, your shoulders or your neck, for example. There are certain muscle parts that will take longer for you to actually feel, and that's why it's a little bit complicated sometimes. But at the end of this video, and when you have learned my tips, it should be as natural as breathing, for example. And just before I go into the practical step, I just want to say that I have a course in the top link of the description. So if you want me to make workouts for you where you don't have to use all the thinking yourself, so basically I do all the work for you, then just go down and click the top link in the description. All the details are there. So now the practical step that I want to go into. So basically, as I said, we want to practice this during our warm-up. Usually before our workouts, we want to warm up for our heavy compound movement lifts. So that's why I want to explain for the bench press example, or just a chest press overall. So it could be, you know, a fly, incline press, or flat bench press. So the way that we actually do the mind-muscle connection is that we have mantras in our heads. So basically now you might be wondering, what is a mantra? A mantra is basically just a word which is repeated enough times. For example, in table tennis, I play table tennis. It's a sport where we really have to use mantras a lot. So for example, a mantra could be that I say to myself when I'm playing a match against somebody. It could be, take a deep breath, prepare yourself for the next ball, relax, don't get tensed up. All of these are mantras because I keep telling myself this throughout the match. And that's why we want to do the exact same thing when we are coming to the gym. It's of course just a different mantra. For example, you don't say, relax bro, because the weight will fucking fall on your head, obviously, right? But the way that we want to tell ourselves mantras is actually to say things like, for example, remember the stretch. Think about your biceps touching each other. All of these different mantras is what we want to use when we, for example, do the bench press. And that's why the warm-up is so important, because this is where we can practice to actually learn how to use these mantras when we are actually doing our exercise. So for example, if you need to do an incline bench pressing movement, Before you do the real sets, you do the warm-ups with the weights, of course, but then you try to implement all these mantras. That's what I always do. So I take the lightest weight that I can, while it's still warm-up, so don't take fucking 1 kilo in each hand and then do it. You won't really get anything out of that. Let's say that your maximum weight that you can take on this exercise is 17 kilos in each hand. Then you'll want to do the warm-up with like 7, 8 kilos or 10 kilos. And then you lay on the bench and then you take the weights up and then you think, yeah, an arc. Okay, yeah, an arc with the chest. Okay, check. Okay, the stretch. Okay, let's get the stretch. Okay, think about the biceps coming in. Yes, okay. Okay, yes, the biceps. Slow, slow. Control the weight down. Feel the stretch up. Biceps touching each other. Yes, yes. And this is exactly how we want to think whenever we do an exercise. Of course, it's different from if, for example, you do the back. Then you probably want to think about keep the chest up. Get the full stretch, round your back out, pull with your elbows, not your arms, pull with the elbows. All of these different mantras, those are the ones that will help you get the mind-muscle connection, which will literally 10x the amount of muscle growth that you get, because you're actually feeling that your muscles are tearing apart, and it's a better way to destroy your muscles, so we can build them faster and better up the next time. So when you have practiced all these mantras in your warm-up, that's when it's going to be a bit difficult, because now you're going to use it in the real set with the heavy weight. So now you have a lot of different things that you need to think about. For example, you need to stabilize the weights. Now you need to remember the arc, the stretch, pushing with the biceps to each other, all of these different things. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to forget the amount that you were taking, like the reps. You're going to forget, like, wait, did I just do 6 or did I just do 5 reps? The reason why I say this is because, let me tell you a story. So when I first heard about this mind-muscle connection and I learned how to do it, I literally just went straight into my top set, and then on the first rep, literally the first rep, it was so hard, like the weight, so I completely forgot about my mantras. So the good arc that I had with my chest completely vanished. I just fucking tried to push it up. So I didn't have an arc. My left arm was pushing more than my right arm. And I was like, fuck, bro. Oh yeah, remember the stretch. I remember the stretch. Oh fuck, you know. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, what, how many reps have I done? Let's just say 3. And then I kept fucking going, right? Of course, this isn't how we want to train. So my advice for you from this story is actually to go a bit lighter, but then learn how to use the mind-muscle connection. Basically, don't let your ego take over. That's what I did, and that's why I got some asymmetrical parts of my body. So control your ego. Don't let the ego control you, basically. And if you find these tips helpful, then of course go down and click the top link in the description, because I have so much more to teach you inside of my course, so I can help you get that attractive V-taper physique, so you can attract girls, like literally the girls of your dreams, so they will want to touch your chest and all this. Like literally, I have a quick story that I want to end this video with, and that is that I have just had a girl over recently to me, like fucking yesterday, and she literally wanted to touch my chest all the time, my biceps, all the time when we were together. Like we played some cards, had some fun, right? And often she would just, begin to touch my arms, and she was like, oh, you're so big. And, I could just tell that she was so attracted to it. I'm not going to tell her name because of privacy, of course, but it's just to say that it will absolutely fucking help you to grow the right amount of muscle mass and the right muscles. And I teach you this all inside of my course. There's literally 7 muscles that you need to train for optimal attractiveness, and that's what I teach inside of the course. And it's also what I teach on my YouTube channel, and that's why I will highly recommend you to go down and click subscribe, so you can get this aesthetic physique as well. So I really hope that you got some value from this video, and if you want to watch more and get more value, keep learning, then I would highly recommend you to watch this video over here. It has just as much value as this video had. So thanks for watching and have a wonderful day, bro. Mwah!